Yay, we got extra time on both sides. So yeah, hello everybody. Last time on Paranormasight, we had the girls over here link up with the police officers and share a lot of the information, confirm a lot of things, and set out for more adventures. So the girls are going to be asking Mr. Ariishi if he knows anything about how to stop the curses, and the police officers, as we left with Harue's line, ran into them at the Michiyo residence. Harue and Richter visit Michiyo's home, having determined her to be a key player in the unsolved kidnapping case from the year before. As the complicated story begins to unravel, they encounter two men. Excuse me, sorry. Near the Shirashi household, 10 a.m. Is this a new track? Ma'am, allow me to introduce one of our country's most elite detectives. Name's Jun Ario. I'd hardly call myself a lead, but either way, it's nice to meet you. This here's the brilliant Chief Inspector Tsutsumi, and yes, he's just as rough and tumble as he looks. Sometimes I really don't know if you're complimenting or putting me down. So you two are detectives. This is my client, Miss Harue Shigema. Her father's a big deal in the police himself, so remember to mind your manners. A bigwig named Shigema? Boss, do you know of this guy? Shit, I've heard the name, but you know I don't keep track of who's who in the upper echelons. There's no need to worry. I'm my own person after all, and my father has nothing to do with any of this. Oh, did you hear that, boss? Looks like you're getting off easy again this time. Don't make it sound like I'm involved in some shady business. It ain't like that. You both seem rather jovial despite being detectives. How rare. All the police officers I met have always been so dull. Well, you won't find any dull cops here. We'll round up all the criminals with a smile. That's our motto. Lovely. Keep it up. Just hold on one second. That's the first I'm hearing of that. Well, you're right about them not being your typical detectives. Yeah, they do very well together. They're very fun. I thought we might cause trouble standing in the middle of the street talking like this, but so far we haven't drawn attention. Then again, that might just be because nobody wants to get involved with the case. Let's see, anything else to say? Ha 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 ha, I found you. Damn, there's one here? Lucky, that's number 12, the Royal King Penguin. Oh, that's so? Yay. Well, I'm glad we found it. Always good to look around. It seems that they're acquainted, but also like they haven't talked in a long time. I guess knowing how to deal with the cops is also part of an investigator's job. Not quite. The two of us used to be comrades, is all. Comrades? That's right. Richter used to be part of the police force himself. He quit a few years ago to go solo. Is that so? You should give it a try, Ario. There's more freedom working as a private investigator. Can't say much for the quality of life, though. It's been 2 years, right? I hadn't heard of you since you quit. I didn't think your business would last, but here you are. You sure you don't want to return to the force? We take you back with open arms. What, sit on my ass and watch the birds fly? I'll take a pass. I don't belong in that world. Come on, Richter. We need your talent. The public needs you. Nah, you don't. This is my calling. The police will manage just fine without me. I'll keep on tying up all your loose ends, saving the little birdies you abandoned. Oof. There's a history there. Can't believe you were actually part of the police force once. There's a story behind everything, ma'am. I don't regret my time in the force. I wouldn't have the connections I have today without it. A young and energetic detective, he seems to have a strong sense of justice. If my son had a chance to grow older, perhaps he would have become an officer just like him. Seems like he's got a lot of experience working the streets. Most of the officers I know are the bureaucratic desk jockey types. The contrast is rather striking. By the way, ma'am, this might be sudden, but there's something I'd like to confirm with you. And that is? Do you happen to know anything about the 7 mysteries of Hanjo? Sorry, Chief, but that's hardly... With all due respect, investigator, I think my question was addressed to the lady. You insist. What do you say, ma'am? Can you tell us anything? Can't say I know much. Is that so? Well, sorry for the intrusion. Come to think of it, I heard some things about this area last night. Something about a strange yet conspicuous man dressed in white loitering around. Wait a second. I assume they were talking about you, investigator. Well, I won't argue that I'm strange and conspicuously dressed in white. As it turns out, I was out here last night to conduct my investigation. Did you run into anything strange or out of the ordinary? Out of the ordinary, huh? Guess I did observe a few suspicious characters. You were asking about curses just now. Why would a public servant be interested in the occult? Boss, Richter's a smart man. He can help us if we tell him what we know. I can't promise I'll be of any help to you, but I'm interested in hearing what you gotta say. Something's happening in Honjo, isn't there? Must be something big if they got you head office guys on it. I guess it's alright. Desperate times call for desperate measures. Man, imagine a game where everyone just actually talks to each other. Crazy. Thank you, boss. Listen closely to what we're about to say, Richter. And so then Santa came in. So by using curses to commit murders, these people collect soul dregs to perform the rite of resurrection? And these curse stones are somehow connected to the 7 mysteries of Honjo. It's a tough story to swallow, but I don't see a reason to doubt you either. We figured the strange occurrences happening around here recently are connected to these curses. To get the situation under control, we've been searching for the curse bearers to confiscate their curse stones. Do you have any information that might help us? That's tough. I never expect curses and other mumbo-jumbo to play into all this. But if we're talking shady characters, there was a middle-aged fella I saw on South Waragasui Street. He had an average build. He was anxious, like he was searching for prey. Boss, what do you think? Well, considering the location, it could have been Hideki Ariishi. We already got his curse stone. Impressive. You two are working quick. Did you see anything else? Not that I can remember. That's a shame. If you see any characters that look like they might be carrying a curse stone, it'd be a huge help if you let us know. Absolutely, I'll let you know if I find anything. Richter, perhaps you could lend a hand in our case too? There's a number of people we can't track, and finding missing persons happens to be your specialty, no? I hate to disappoint you, but I'm busy enough with this case. Faith in my clients is what keeps me afloat. I have to prioritize requests by the order in which they come. I see. Well, can't say that's not fair. What do you need a private investigator for anyway? The cops should have plenty of bright folks to throw at the job, sorry. True, but this isn't an ordinary case we're dealing with here. What brings you here, Richter? You on a case? That's right. I'm picking up the police's slack. I trust you remember the kidnapping and murder case from last year? Oh, I remember now. You're that Harue Shigema from the kidnapping case. Huh? Did I miss something? Don't be an idiot. It was the case where the Munasada Shigema's grandson was kidnapped. Must have been your son, ma'am. Indeed. The story was suppressed by the news, but in the end it was considered a huge failure on the police department's part. Most of the investigation was conducted in secret. I really think that should have been Harue's line. Now, unfortunately, the department is unwilling to reopen the case. Any investigation carried out afterward turned up nothing at all. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. Which is why I'm now on the job. So they never caught the culprit, huh? That's rough. So, your findings have brought you to this place then? That's right. Individual connected to the case used to live around here. Used to? That's right. As of last week, they're deceased. We hope to talk to the family. No one was home when I checked last time, so we figured we'd try again. Interesting. Huh? By the way, that reminds me, Richter? Yeah? You said the person who used to live here died last week. You wouldn't be referring to Michiyo Shirieshi by any chance. You knew? I thought so. Seems like we're here for the same reason then. Seriously? Michiyo was involved with curses and magic? Strictly speaking, the curse part isn't our concern. We're looking into Yoshimi's case. Yoshimi? Oh right, Hajime Yoshimi's. That's right, he died on the job. I'm sure you've heard of it. I heard. It was a most unfortunate loss. There's a connection between Hajime Yoshimi of the Juvenile Division and Michiyo. Well, hold on. Let's focus on Michiyo for a second. You think she has something to do with the kidnapping? Talk about unforeseen developments. Exchange information should prove mutually beneficial. I'll tell you what I know, but in turn I want a full scoop on your findings concerning Michiyo. Sure, to tell you the truth. What? You believe Michiyo's ghost is the one who killed Mr. Janucci? So I wasn't just mumbling nonsense? I mean, we haven't fully confirmed anything yet, but the testimonies we've heard and the evidence we found point in that direction. Testimony? You mean from those psychic high schoolers? Didn't they also say there was a chance Michiyo hadn't killed herself? Well, if that's all true, then... Did you figure something out? Kankachiro, why? Huh? Kankachiro, why? He'll be the next victim. We have to open the door of the Shirishi's house. We need to look inside. Hey, what's gotten into you? Boss? I'm sure the landlord would give us the key if we asked. Screw that. You know how long that could take? We can ask for permission later. Richter? Hey, Richter, calm down. We can't just... I can understand that. If Iwai was abusing the mother, then he would definitely be on the list of people for Michiyo to kill. Take that, you shitty door. That's how you do it. Richter, get a hold of yourself. I see you're still the same as always. Everyone, come. Quick, look at this. Whoa. Whoa, what's up with this room? Boss, there's a dead body in here. Whoa, could that be Michiyo's dad? Nah, it's your stepdad at best, if that. It's gotta be the body of Kankachiro Y. There's no doubt about it, this man's a goner. He's gotten real messed up. Looks like he's been like this for a while. I'd say it happened last night. Ario, did you find Janucci's body in the same state? Now that you mention it, it looked as though Kohei Janucci had died from a number of heavy blows. What are you suggesting, investigator? It was Michiyo Shirishi. She's alive. She used the power of the curses to get back at the men who ruined her life. That's ridiculous. You're suggesting she actually revived? It's gotta be that. She's alive, then. Then what? Don't do this to me. My apologies for interrupting. I know we've just arrived at an interesting plot point. But do you really think a dead girl is going around taking revenge from beyond the grave? Consider this. What if Michiyo Shiriichi never died? But seeing as you've come this far, I'm sure you already know the truth, don't you? And so I would have you answer me a question. Where in Hanjo was Michiyo Shiriishi at the hour of 8 o'clock this morning? What? "8 o'clock this morning? Not at her house. Komagata High School? There's nobody there. We don't remember seeing anybody at the bridge or the river. Or the gardens. Ryugoku. I mean, where were we this morning? Where have we seen people this morning, right? Nothing happened at any of these locations over here, so they're all out. Midoricho Park was where we were looking for Ayame, but we didn't see anybody there either. The Shigima residence was just Richter and Harue, and they're not involved with that as far as I know. Kinshibori Park is where what's his name's body? Shogo Okie's body is. This was the soap area, and that just had Takumi. Nobody was on Honji Bridge today, and the four of us are at Michiyo Shirishi's house, but that the death there happened last night, so the candy shop is where we started Yako's story. The only places where we were with 8 a.m. were the candy shop, the Shigima residence, and I can't even remember where we were with with the other people. We were at the school. We were at the school with them. But we would have seen someone at the school, so it has to be one of these three? The candy shop? I see very well. Congratulations, you are correct. But how? As expected, you got it in one go. Well, the cause of death was such, was it not? You must have noticed some time ago. Let's get back to the story then, shall we? I've taken up enough of your time. Let's just work backwards from there for a second. Aside from the mockingbirds. Okay, so the the death of Mr. Janucci was as if he was crushed, right? So it's not that. Yeah, so the Fool's Procession kills by fatal fall, and you can kind of see, like, the image there is also someone. So he looked like he fell, but he was in the middle of the courtyard. But the Fool's Procession... We're missing a few of those. The Fool's Procession is in Yako's hands. So the only one who could have done that was Yako. Right? That's what he meant by the cause of death. But we were watching her, weren't we? She doesn't look like Michiyo. What's going on? What? So you really think Michiyo Shirishi's alive? Just think it through and it becomes obvious. It tracks, but do you really think that girl could have managed all this? First of all, Ario, go report this to HQ. Understood, I'll get on it right away. I'll start investigating this place. It sure isn't lacking in stuff that needs a looking at. It's a bunch of photos of the same person pasted on the wall over there. Huh? Whoa now, hold on, these photos. Those are full of Fumichika Nejima. Gross! Really? Come to think of it, he was in the papers a lot back in the day. Oh, there's even more pasted up over there. These are all cutouts from newspapers and magazines about the Nejima murders. I don't get it. Why the weirdo shrine? Let's keep looking around. Look at these pictures. Pictures of Fumichika Nejima cut out from newspapers and magazines. Whoever put these up was obsessed. I wonder what their intent was. You think the Shirishis are somehow connected to Nejima's case? Perhaps they did this as to not forget a grudge or something. It's crazy to think Nejima might be involved in all this too. Huh? Do you think he might have had anything to do with the body here? Maybe. This man's already out on parole. He's a curse bearer with a curse stone now. He announced that from sundown today he's going on a killing spree. Oh dear! There's an emergency search underway as we speak, but no one's yet managed to get a hold of the bastard. So he hasn't changed his ways. That doesn't bode well. To tell you the truth, the lady here isn't completely unconnected from the Nejima murders either. You don't say. That's right, we talked about it last night. 20 years ago, I found the hand in Sumida River that brought the incident to light.
You don't say. You were the kid from back then?
You were really brave. You did a great deed. Were you the detective I spoke with? I had no idea. So you two have met before. Fancy that. Everything is connected. I've been worried that Fumichi Kanejima might bear some resentment toward you, ma'am. You might be right. You might be right. Unfortunately, the asshole is quite the resentful type. Oh dear. That asshole. I wonder who put the idea in his head, and now he's got the one-sided read too. He's threatening to massacre the people of Hajo at sundown. Seriously? On top of that, he's itching to get revenge on me as well. Of all things, the man's gone and threatened to kill my daughter. Damn, that's quite a threat. Certainly can't afford to stay put here. Fucker wants us to get all antsy. When I finally get to arresting him, it'll be with a cool head. Not gonna give him the pleasure, huh? Well, if Hawaii and Fumichi Kanejima have anything to do with each other, then this room might hold a clue to Nejima's location. Let's hope so. The person who put all these photos must have been obsessed with Nejima. They might have had some relation to Nejima's victims. Perhaps it was the opposite. The opposite? What if it wasn't loathing but admiration? But then... yikes. This jar's real old. Chief Inspector, do you mind if I look inside? Huh? I mean, in normal cases, only police would be allowed to touch things, right? Right, Ario isn't here, so let me take a look at it. There's just clothes in here, not much variety either. Can't say they're big spenders. Well, I was hoping to find a kind of talisman here, but I guess we're not so lucky. I see. Thank you anyway. But the window and the storm shutter closed. No light could get in here at all. It's pitch black. The neighbors mentioned they started to keep the house shut like this not long ago. It's off-putting to look at, but I can't help but wonder what in the world this is. They're magic runes. They're used in Western black magic rituals. Most of the time, they're useless imitations, though. I wouldn't get too excited about it. Oh my, who knew the Chief Inspector was such an expert on the occult? I just chanced upon that information. The girl with the spirit sense you mentioned, she's pretty informed on the subject. Huh. Someone's attempted to perform Western black magic in this place. Pretty absurd if you ask me. Of course, the person in question was dead serious about it all. Western black magic. While magic is often classed as a branch of mysticism or may variously refer to the likes of witchcraft or astrology, here it refers specifically to Western black magic. In the Middle Ages, the line between science and magic was blurred, with the pursuit of the supernatural considered a legitimate academic discipline. Astrology was regarded akin to astronomy, while alchemy was accepted as a scientific fact when eventually evolved into what is today known as chemistry. One discipline, however, was considered wicked and shunned accordingly: black magic, the practice of using magical knowledge to strike a bargain with demons. In contrast to the socially acceptable subjects studied by the intelligentsia, black magic was most prolific among the lower classes. It was the common people who suffered most from the ills of the day: war, famine, and sickness, which perhaps led them to seek aid from unholy powers. As heresy, these rituals and spells were nowhere to be found in orthodox modes of teaching, but instead were recorded in tomes of dubious credibility. Looks like things spread around here have been like this for a while now. This ritual, or whatever, was something he attempted up to recently. Plenty of the neighbors mentioned having heard strange mantra-like noises come from here during the night. You think Hawaii was the one chanting? Hard to say. Could have been one of the Shirishis as well. If we look through the books in the back, we might learn whatever it is they're trying to do. Yeah, we'll get to the corpse. Old books. There are old books scattered everywhere. I wonder what they're about, many of them written in foreign language. It'll be a pain to look through all these. Let's save them for later and continue to look around. This sliding door leads to the kitchen. It barely fits in the frame. This place is disgusting. Did Michiyo Shirishi really live here? Newspaper cutouts, decorations. There are candles and stones with inscriptions placed all over. Are these tools for some ritual? Hey, don't touch anything, you hear? That's right, considering it's murder, so we'd all leave everything as it is. All this could be used as evidence if anyone besides forensics toys with it will cause trouble down the road. There's nothing around to confirm his identity, but by the looks of him, I'd say he's Kankachiro Y. You've seen him before? I heard he had a criminal record, so I assume he would have he wouldn't have held such a respectable occupation. Is this what a curse does to a person? Ma'am, better not to look so closely. It's amazing. Cruel's what it is. I don't see anything else. Let's go with the books again. What do you say, Chief? Would you let me look at it if I wore gloves? It's not like I'm any help with foreign languages. Go ahead. Thank you. Huh, this seems to be a book on Western black magic. Same runes are written here alongside detailed descriptions of the procedures. I suppose you call these grimoires. It's all a bunch of nonsense, you ask me, though. You think this Hawaii guy was studying them? Perhaps to perform some kind of ritual? There are a bunch of handwritten notes beside the grimoires, whoever it was. They were serious about this. Hawaii doesn't look the type to be into this stuff, but you shouldn't judge a book by its cover. But why would he be studying black magic? According to materials, this here rune is for restoration of youth. Perhaps he was trying to become young again. This over here seems to be black magic related to resurrection. Each one of these spells requires a human sacrifice. Talk about dangerous. Resurrection? Like, they're right? Guess no matter what part of the world, people will turn to the cult for similar reasons. Huh? What is it? Looks like a journal. It's probably wise. A journal? Mm-hmm. His writing is surprisingly thorough. It's almost as if we're writing a report for someone. Oh, wow, this is something. What is it? What did he write? It's quite the find. Let me give you a summary. So this Kanchiro Y fellow, he's been searching for a spell to restore youth for years. So he was into black magic from the start? He believed if he could learn to successfully perform the spell, he could then use it to earn a fortune. To tell you the truth, it seems he was already getting funded after he acquired this grimoire. You don't say. This is starting to sound kind of familiar. But first, let's find out how he got his hands on this grimoire. Seems that Nejima told him where he could obtain the book where they were both in prison. What? It's nearly too much of a coincidence. Likely not coincidence. Seems like Hawaii took an interest in the Nejima murders after it made the news. He admired him rather passionately. Might even say he worshipped the man. Worship? Nejima of all people? There was a time when students were itching to rebel. Anyone who did something to shake the world was bound to gather admirers. Hawaii had been collecting these photos ever since that time. Since he just happened to land in prison at the same time as Nejima, he made sure to get in contact. This is a lot. I mean, even having it laid out like this. The thought of Nejima being involved with these grimoires is staggering. I don't think we ever had anything pointing to that. What's the connection? To be honest, it shocked me too. For years, I've been scratching our heads over the motives behind Nejima murders. Yep, it's been a mystery to all of us from the very start. Whoa now, wait a minute, do you think? No way, are you saying? That's right, the murders might have been for a ritual. He was attempting to perform black magic. The instructions written down for the sacrificial offering match up exactly with the acts carried out by Nejima. You gotta be kidding me.
So that sadistic crap he was doing was all for black magic?
That's what the evidence suggests. However, Nejima tried to do some type of resurrection ritual, but Awaya had different motives. Chief Inspector might think this is all stuff of fantasy, but this doesn't refute that Nejima and Awaya were both acting in earnest.
This batshit insane. You're telling me that nutjobs did some all this for some hokey pokey resurrection? Shit, resurrection!
That means there must have been someone Nejima wanted to bring back to life.
Damn, that's it! That has to be it! Fucking hell, it all makes sense now!
What is it?
So, about the Nejima murders, there's some information that's been kept from the public. Go on. When we broke into his house and arrested him, we also found a baby.
A baby?
It was a girl, looked to be about 6 months old, but she was covered in filth. She looked so weak and sickly. We called the medics right away. If we were a second later, I'm sure the girl would have died.
So, was Nejima the father?
He told us he'd found her under a bridge.
He found her? She was abandoned? I've heard of parents threaten to leave their children under bridge as a threat, but to think it really happened. I suppose there are cases of dead newborns stuffed in coin lockers, so it's not without precedent.
Whatever the case, we never found out the truth.
But there's one rumor from back then that I could never get out of my mind.
It's starting to sound more likely now.
It's starting to sound more likely now?
Well, I'm sure this isn't my first time you've heard of it. Many believe Nejima's guilty of more crimes than what got him convicted. Back then, a lot of girls went missing.
Yeah, I remember all that.
Among the high school girls that might have been murdered, or maybe should I say sacrificed, was a girl who was pregnant.
Goodness! That's horrific.
He killed her and dismembered her body, and we thought maybe the baby we found is what he pulled out from inside of her. Don't misunderstand me, this is all speculation on top of more speculation here. But I, for one, never believed the man would just take in a baby he found under a bridge.
I'm feeling sick.
Stay strong, ma'am. I know this is hard to hear. Like I said, don't take that to be the full truth. We're running on speculation back then. Now that this whole resurrection magic has come into play, we should consider possibility it was his child. That maybe he was trying to revive whoever the mother might have been. It's just a theory, but my life would be a tad easier if it were true.
That's interesting thought. If there's anyone Nejima want to resurrect, a deceased wife is as good a guess as any. The fact that he obtained a curse stone suggests he had an interest in the rite of resurrection.
Damn, you're right. And here I was thinking that he was only after the curse's power to massacre.
Chief Inspector.
Yeah?
What happened to the child?
Without a birth registration on file, best we could do is find the girl some suitable foster parents. It was decided to keep the circumstances secret for the sake of the child's future.
Well, I'm glad she was taken care of.
Crazy. Don't mean to derail the conversation, but there's still more written in Wyatt's journal.
God, more? We know Wyatt managed to obtain the grimoire thanks to advance he got from his idol, Nejima, while in prison. After conducting research and gathering more information, he was determined he had a chance to get rich quick.
Right, he thought he could make some money if he could successfully use rejuvenation magic.
Correct, turns out someone gave him the idea. And get this.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
It was the one and only queen chairwoman of Hakusopes herself, Natsuo Yamamori. Yeah, we heard about that, of her, like, trying to do that.
Wait, the chairwoman of Hihaku's soaps?
So that's where this leads. Here, let me read what he wrote. The Queen of Hihaku has a strange fear of growing old. Her fear of death is even worse. If she does die, she wishes to be revived, and that she'll spend whatever it takes to preserve her beauty. Magic, rituals, and rites, she'll use whatever means necessary. Her tenacity is unbelievable. She was apparently investing money into any research on resurrection, the restoration of youth, and the like. So she would even throw her money at the occult. The places greed will take you. Well then, that brings us to Hideki Ariishi. She presumably funded his research into the rite of resurrection as well. That's it all points toward. Wouldn't be surprised if the Witch of Hihaku pounced at the rumors of the rite of resurrection. Starting to sound likely. Also might be why she's spreading the rumor about having godly powers. It's a convenient cover if she becomes young again. Godly powers? What's that all about? You can ignore that. Either way, I think Iwai took the payments he was getting for his research to seduce a family into taking him in to keep a low profile. The Shirishi family, Michiyo and her mother, Toshiko, were just his unlucky marks. And this is where you get involved. Are you feeling steady, ma'am? Huh? This has something to do with me? Are you saying that? No, you can't mean. You realize then, perhaps. Michiyo? No. Wise living sacrifice was a child. Kankichiro's Iwai's living sacrifice was a child. That's exactly it. Iwai moved in with the Shirishis to practice his magic. He needed a sacrifice to perform his youth restoration spell, but that meant extracting the life force from someone young. Oh no, of course, that awful man. So it was Iwai. This man. Iwai worshipped Nejima, so he must have also despised Nejima's detractors. Not to mention he was captured and sent to jail once before. Surely he had a bone to pick with the police. So when he realized he had a chance to both avenge Nejima, embarrass the police, and acquire a living sacrifice at the same time. Fuck. You got it. Iwai kidnapped Harue Shigima's son and managed to score 3 birds with 1 stone. You're telling me then this hard man, he never had the intention of returning my child. Thought there might have been a reason why the kidnapper seemed to be mocking the police. He never wanted money. His aim was to humiliate the force. It all makes sense. He must have used Michiyo to lower your boy's defenses and then kidnapped him on the way back home. That man, he took Shuichi. Ma'am, please calm down. I understand, but you must remember to breathe. You don't understand. You have absolutely no idea what I'm going through. This isn't a joke. I would expect the police to understand. You'll never understand. Living sacrifices was a stupid idea from a stupid little man. Okay, man, let's just take a moment to breathe. Why don't we go get some fresh air? I can't believe this. This is. Chief, I think it's best we take our leave. Before we go, there's one more important piece of information noted in his journal. Oh? Iwai got in contact with Nejima last year after Nejima was released on parole. He provided with accommodation and financial support. Is that so? He managed to find a hideout for Nejima to stay in. Damn it. If anything, rather than use his money to support the Shirishis, it seems most went to Nejima instead. Nejima's lurking around anywhere at the moment. It's probably at the hideout. Did you write where it is? Unfortunately, no, not that I can tell. But it seems Michiyo knew where it was. She never met with Nejima in person, but she was made to go in and clean up, among other things. What good is that information? The girl's already dead. Wait, no, she's alive! That's right, Michiyo Shirishi's alive.
You can find her and get her to talk. You can get her to spill the beans in his hideout, too. Investigator, I'm asking you. I should be going. The lady's not well. Persons of interest updated. His deceased body was discovered at the Shirishi home. Kankachiro once made a living by placing advertisements in magazines to sell phony magic items and good luck charms. He held a nostalgic yearning for the post-war era where things and people were simple, and has nothing but negative things to say about the rapidly developing, ostentatious world of late. Radical in his beliefs that it would be better to tear down society and start over again, Kankachiro was discontent with his life spent poking around in society's cesspools to make a few coins. When the Nejima murders were widely reported in the media, it had a great impact on Kankachiro, as he witnessed how a single act by a single man could cause a major rift in society. Perceiving Fumichika Nejima as a great hero, he began collecting every piece of information he could find on the man. Kankachiro was later arrested for his illegal business practices, and a chance meeting with Fumichika during his incarceration solidified his idolization. He was captivated by Fumichika's talk of black magic, and following his release, acquired the grimoire Fumichika had hidden away. As for Toshiko Shiraishi, Kankachiro set his sights on her after encountering her at her part-time job. When he learned that the Shiraishi family was in financial trouble, he could not afford to send Michiyo to college. He turned on the charm and took advantage of their weakness by offering them money. He revealed his true colors, however, after moving in with the family, and used violence and money to keep Toshiko and Michiyo under his thumb. All the while, his belief in black magic deepened, and he found a sponsor in the Hihaku Corporation. Kankachiro forced the Shiraishi family to perform various rituals, with any attempts to resist being met with merciless beatings. The mother and the daughter were helpless to resist. After Hihaku offered Kankachiro great sums to intensify his work with black magic, he set his mind to sacrificing a child in order to perform a youth restoration spell. For this purpose, he chose Shuichi Shigema, a son of Harue Shigema, against whom Fumichika held a grudge. He attempted to enlist Michiyo so as not to alarm the boy, and when she resisted, beat her mother 20 times. With Michiyo's assistance, Kankachiro kidnapped Shuichi and locked him up in the Shiraishi house, and told the young and courageous boy that he'd kill Michiyo if he tried to run. While his actions were motivated by a personal grudge against the police, it was first and foremost an attempt to create a societal uproar and break down public order, so Kankachiro painted the crime as a regular kidnapping, demanding a ransom from the family. However, because of an embargo on the press, the kidnapping did not cause a public outcry akin to that of the Nejima murders. Infuriated, Kankachiro had Toshiko perform the sacrifice ritual by threatening to kill Michiyo if she refused. Toshiko killed Shuichi in his sleep, but the spell failed, for which Kankachiro blamed her. Warning Michiyo to keep silent about the murder to avoid incriminating her mother, Kankachiro dumped the boy's body in a nearby river. The tiny corpse was found a week later in the Sumida River after floating through several canals in Hanjo. Having drifted for days in the polluted waters, little evidence remained. Although Kankachiro performed no further sacrifices, his devotion to black magic only increased. Toshiko and Michiyo spent their days consumed by guilt, forced to continue serving Kankachiro until the day they died. Man. Are you feeling better now? Got some fresh air, ma'am? I'm fine. Suddenly finding out who the kidnapper was really made me lose my wits. I managed to solve the kidnapping case by pure luck here. You're right, but Richter, I feel grateful towards Michiyo. Because she killed the kidnapper? There's that too. But it's for something else. If Michiyo's the one killing all these people, then she must have acquired quite a sizable amount by now. Soul dregs, I mean. Hey, Richter? Whether the kidnapper's dead or alive, it doesn't mean a thing. Revenge won't bring my boy back. And if Nejima is planning to cause a massacre to collect soul dregs, then all the better. I won't give up on resurrection. So I'm counting on you.
Okay, let's process that a little bit. So we knew Michiyo was involved with the kidnapping in some way. But the connection to Kangachiri Y, where it turns out he was the kidnapper, and it was never a kidnapping, it was a sacrifice. And that is connected to Nejima, because Nejima originally tried to make a sacrifice to bring someone back to life. But who and why? And what happened to this baby? The baby being mentioned has to be important. So far, everything has been important. The connection to Hihaku soaps, which makes sense that Takumi was trying to gather everything, because they're just trying to use all the magic to be able to, bring the woman back to life if she dies, I guess. But man, some sick people in this game. A lot of people doing a lot of horrible things, or being forced to do a lot of horrible things. And meanwhile, where the heck is Michiyo in all this? Hopefully we'll get a little bit more insight next time. Thank you very much for watching. This has been Sephiroth 4 with Paranormasight. Goodbye, everybody. Bye-bye.